This one skill literally changed my life forever, and now I can never really look back. That skill is sales, or as I like to put it, communication. I'm Matt. I'm a 23-year-old entrepreneur out of Melbourne, Australia. So, for those that don't know me, which most of you won't, I really want to make this video not just about like your traditional guru thing or trying to show you guys everything, but more so just showing you a genuine side that most people won't tell you about. And most people don't want to even share some of their experiences because they know that it's hard to share that with the world. And that's what I want to do with you guys and with this channel, is to just be as genuine as possible. Now, how sales transformed my life and communication was purely just the way that it allowed me to open up my entire world. I was able to connect with so many people just by leveraging something that we all do on a day-to-day basis. And it's one of those things that is often overlooked. It's something that in school we always learn to analyze a newspaper or a book or something like that, but we never focus on how to actually persuade people to do things or sell ourselves, because in essence, life is all about communication. Whether you're in a relationship with someone, there's someone you want to talk to that you like and you want them to like you, you're communicating. Whether you're going to a job interview and you want to sell yourself so that you can get that job, or whether it's just even making friends in the day-to-day space, you're just communicating all the time. And for people to neglect it and to forget that it is such a major essence of their everyday lives, it's a shame, because you're missing out on half the opportunity that's there for you. Now, over the past 4 years, I actually started an online business, and through sales, now I've been able to get to a point where I'm making tens of thousands a month. And yes, I know that sounds crazy at 23 years old. I'm actually right now here in Bulgaria in some random penthouse for a month because I decided to take that risk and bet on myself. Now, really, to understand where I'm coming from, this isn't something that I was able to get overnight. It wasn't daddy's money. It wasn't my family, because I never really grew up with that much. I was never someone that had everything growing up, or family had a mansion or sports cars or anything like that. I didn't have a fancy network that I could tap into. I was isolated in Australia, which granted is a great country. But for me to operate at the level I am now, I had to actually put myself out there to get to the US, to get to the UK and be speaking with people overseas. And so really what I did was, one of these nights, I just decided, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to start looking to invest into myself and learn how to sell, because I'd taken up some retail positions so I could save up enough money to go play football overseas, or soccer for those in the US and Australia. And that was really my dream at first, was to just go and play football, to go overseas, to try and become a professional. And when I got myself little jobs to pay for it, I thought, this is like the best thing ever. And I spent a couple years going overseas, playing, getting to a decent level. But when that didn't quite work out for me, I had to really take a step back and think about, well, what am I going to do? Because for most of us out there, the hardest thing is knowing what to do. Not many people are afraid of hard work, but what they're afraid of is the uncertainty of not knowing what's going to come tomorrow or the week after or in the next month, year. It's one of the hardest things to get around. But what I really thought about when I was finding my path, when I was looking at what I wanted to learn and get into, is I don't want to be in an office. I never wanted to be. I hated university. As much as I can see it is useful for some, and depending on where you want to go, the pathway you want to take, it can be good. But for me, and I'm sure for a lot of us watching this, that was never the dream. The dream to me was to be able to live life, not just survive, but actually go out and experience everything that I wanted to experience. Be able to travel, be able to do new things, meet new people from all over the world. And not only that, but be able to provide that life for my family, to look after them, to look after my friends that have been there with me since day one. And so I thought, how can I get myself time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom? Because at the end of the day, to me, you need those three things to be able to get to that dream life. And for a lot of the jobs out there, maybe you get one of those, maybe two, but you never quite get all three. So when I was coming back from Europe and I realized my footballing dream didn't work out, I decided, well, let's look at what opportunities are out there. Let's see what I could find that is allowing people to make a lot of money online. As we all see, a lot of people are on their phones, they're scrolling every day, and we see like, man, there's some guy making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. He has the fancy cars and he's just a young dude in his teens or 20s. And you wonder, how is it even possible? And probably the first thought that comes to mind is, it's a scam, which granted, I can imagine how it might seem that way because so many people, want to show these things off, but you can't fathom yet just how people can actually make it happen. And so there was one night when I'm scrolling just like any other night, and I came across this video, and it was this guy talking about how there's all these courses or mentorships that you can call them that go around that are selling for $5,000, $10,000, all these kinds of things. But there's one person that nobody ever noticed. And that was the guy that gets on the call with you to actually sell you the thing. And it's never going to be the face of the brand. Sometimes it is, but when they're a big influencer or a coach, they oftentimes have a team. And about 3.5, 4 years ago, nobody was really aware of what that is. And so that's when I came across high ticket closing, which is essentially where all you're doing is getting on a call with people on Zoom from your laptop, can be from home, can be from another country. It doesn't really matter. And all you have to do is have a conversation with them, show them the benefits of what this platform or service or coaching can do for their life, and sell them. That's it. You have to communicate how it's going to change their life. And if you can do that and they make a payment, then you take home commission. And so at first you're thinking, how can that even be? Where I can make a $5,000 sale and make $500 in 1 hour, maybe 40 minutes if the call's a bit shorter. But just that concept is so crazy because for a long time, I always had this thought of like, well, the only way I could get rich is if I'm an athlete or an actor or something like that. I never really thought, hey, I can actually just get on a call and talk to people and make money. And so that's where this then obsession started to come about, where I wanted to just help as many people as possible and jump on calls and be able to learn how to communicate better, learn as much as I could from other people that were exactly where I wanted to be. And so I spent money. I spent thousands, actually tens of thousands, to get myself in front of the right people, learning from certain people. And, I can't lie. Some of the things I invested in were not quite worth the actual knowledge I got necessarily. For a couple of them were. But one of the other powerful things was who I met along the way. Because what's not talked about is learning sales gives you the ability to, number one, actually get paid for the value that you provide, for your performance. Now you're not paid $30 an hour or $15 an hour. You can be paid $500 or you can be paid $0. But just one call can be a whole 2-day salary. And so the other part to that was the network that I was able to build. By investing in myself, sometimes it wasn't about the knowledge I got, but the people I met, because they would push you to be better. And I found that back then, my circle was interesting. I had a good group of friends throughout high school, and I had a good group of friends after high school. Some things changed, of course, but I realized that to get to where I wanted it was when I started surrounding myself with people that were doing over $100,000 a month at 20 years old, 21 years old. I started to think, well, man, my perception of reality is completely out of whack. Like I don't even know what's real anymore. I don't know what's possible. And I started to really rewire the way that I would think, the way that I would see things, and start to ask myself not, hey, this isn't possible. I can't do this. It would be, how can I do this? And by just having that switch, by just putting myself in front of these people, learning to communicate and just giving it 100%, I was able to be landing a sales role within the first week of me even messaging people, and to start getting on calls. And I was terrified at first because I was always this super shy kid, someone that would, and for those that are in my high school, were in my high school, they would be able to say that I couldn't even present. Like, I couldn't get up in front of the class and present anything, any project. I was never someone that wanted to talk to big groups of people. I just kind of stayed in my own lane, did my own thing. I was so focused on just football and keeping quiet to myself with a small group of friends. But now I can confidently say that I am so grateful to have learned how to sell. And shout out to Renzo and Ali for those things. Those boys know who they are. And I will actually drop the Instagrams as well, so you guys can see who really gave me my first shot in this whole space. But it was one of those things that just completely changed my life. And if anything, I know that there's been a lot of talking in this video, but I want this to be an inspiration for somebody out there, because maybe sales isn't for you. Maybe, you're better into marketing. Maybe you're more creative and you want to do different things. But whatever that is that you want to learn, there are so many opportunities right now in the online space to create a business with just one skill that can pay you thousands a month. And even if that's not tens of thousands in the first 2 months or 3 months or 6 months, that's okay. But it's a way for you to start living your dream life. And I want people to realize that so much more is possible than what you think. You just have to open your mind to the possibility that it can be done. And if somebody else can, then, why can't we? And that's one of the things that I just strive on. I'm constantly learning, even now, 3 years into the space. I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly building. And it's what allowed me to get to a point now where I have 2 companies. I can travel just about whenever I want. I have an amazing group of friends from all over the world that are all building and ambitious and working towards their dream lives. And I can come back and say, like, hey, I enjoy getting up to work. I can enjoy working from a different country. I can actually go out and see my friends and spoil my family on Christmas and do all these things. And that is thanks to sales. It's thanks to the skills that I've learned over the past few years, the lessons from the failures I made. And most importantly, I feel like the person who you become in the process is one of the most beautiful things. And so whatever place you're in right now, wherever you are on your journey, whether you're starting, whether you're already a bit more advanced, learn how to communicate, learn how to speak to people, because I promise you, if you can learn how to communicate well, speak to people, and actually just put yourself out there, even when it's scary, then you're going to see a big result. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be the day after, but every little day and lesson counts. Because one of the things that I got told was, you're not going to see things immediately. And it's the same way if the temperature was to change from 20 degrees to 21 degrees. You're probably not going to feel that change and be like, oh, 1 degree shifted, I can tell it's hotter. But when those single degrees, they stack up and they eventually get to 30, well, now you have felt that change. And so whatever you're doing, no matter how small, any win, any lesson is always going to push you towards where you want to be. And the only thing you cannot do is give up. So hopefully that's something that's helped at least somebody out there. And I will be making a bunch more videos just showing my life, showing some of the things I'm building, actually showing you guys what it looks like internally in my businesses, what I've been doing recently, and how I'm directly able to live the way I'm living. So again, I'm Matt, and I will see you guys in the next video.